Hello there, you beautiful individuals. My name is Jeff McKinnon. I'm gonna run through a little yoga class for you. Please feel free to partake, pressing pause whenever you need to take a rest. I'll try to show lots of modifications because I know that this yoga that I teach is for everybody, okay, everybody. So November, December, gonna post a few of these videos. I'm gonna post on Sundays at some point, and then it'll be available for a full week for you to purchase. And then after the 7-day period, it's going to be deleted, and then I'll post a new one every week. Once January hits, I'm going to be offering modules. So the first module, which will begin the first Sunday in January, I believe. It will be on it'll be a 5-week module on the 5 different yamas. And then after that, we'll do the 5 niyamas. And yamas and niyamas are the first 2 limbs of Patanjali's 8-limbed path of yoga. Then we'll do a 7-week module dealing with, 8-week module to do, go over the full 8 limbs of yoga, according to Patanjali. Then we're going to do 7 weeks going through the chakras, the 7 major chakras. And then we have, I think, a 5-week Ashtanga series. Then we're going to do a 5-week Yin Yoga series. And then we're going to do a 5-week Chair Yoga. So 40 weeks in total. You can purchase individual classes. You can purchase modules. You can purchase the entire 40 weeks. The more you purchase, of course, the more you save. Anyway, we're going to get started here today. Each class is about an hour long. So grab your mat, find a nice quiet spot. Might be tough to do in your own house to find a quiet spot. I get it. I'm in my house right now, and I've got 5 kids. So you know, if people start yelling in the background, pay no attention to it. All right, let's get at it. So first couple of months is basically just trying to figure out this video stuff and lighting, and anyway, I hope you enjoy it. We're going to start in a seated position today, and we're going to do what's called digital pranayama. Okay, so we're going to use our fingers to help plug off our nostrils. Excuse me. So what I like to do is I take the peace fingers, and it's on the right hand. My peace fingers are going to tuck down to my thumb pad, and then I make this little clamp with my thumb and my ring finger. So the thumb is going to block off the right nostril a little bit, and then the ring finger is going to block off the left nostril a little bit. So you can't really see, but it's right above the nasal bone, right below the nasal bone, where the nose goes from a hard bony structure to soft cartilage. And there's 2 things we can do here. We can either use these fingers to open up the nostrils a little bit more so we can get more airflow, or we can use them to gently squeeze off, making the nostrils a little smaller, so that it's going to take longer for us to fill up the lungs. Okay? So, find your position of choice. You can sit with your legs crossed, you can sit on your knees, you can sit on a block. You can do this lying down if you want to, whatever you want to do. Your arm's probably going to get a little tired, but if that's the case, then you can simply rest and take a few breaths, okay? So, we're going to do this for about 2 minutes or so. All we're wanting to do is to close our eyes, bring our awareness inside the body, and I want you to pay attention to the sound that you're creating, okay? So on your own, either opening up the nostrils or squeezing them off a little bit, and listen and pay attention to the sound that you create. Go ahead. Every once in a while, you might have to do one of those. You might have to blow your nose. If your nostrils are really clogged up, then you can do the same type of thing, except you can just breathe through the back of your throat with your mouth slightly opened. Kind of like that. And after your next full exhalation, I want you to bring your hands down on your lap, close your eyes, and just take a few regular breaths. And you can notice that hopefully your nostrils are a little more open. Good. Now we're going to change from the nasally sound to the hushing sound at the back of the throat. So sit up nice and tall. Take a few nice deep breaths. Listening to the sound that you're creating at the back of the throat. This is called Ujjayi Pranayama. It's a very subtle sound, and if you were in a room full of people, the person beside you shouldn't be able to hear your hushing. It should be very smooth and delicate. All right, now this is the type of breathing we're going to do for the rest of our practice, okay? So I'm going to adjust the camera just a little bit because we're going to come to a standing position. We're going to do the moon salutation, okay? So give me a second here. All right, let's try that. So you're not going to be able to see my feet, but that's okay. You're not going to see my arms, that's okay. And in just a sec here, I got to adjust. we're going to have to bring this down just a little bit because I do want to show you what's called the coiled serpent. Okay, so the coiled serpent is one of the positions we get into. So just bear with me here. Once I show you the coiled serpent, then you don't need to see me do it again. Okay, so the moon salutation involves some back bending, and whenever we back bend or bend backwards, we want to get our glutes involved because the glutes will help support the low back. Okay, so we're going to come to the top of our mat. We're going to sit up nice and tall and straight into what we call mountain pose. The first one I do is going to be a little slower than the rest, and we're actually going to pick up steam. We're going to do 5 of these, okay? And I'm going to try to increase the difficulty with each one, okay? So the first one, we're going to take a breath in, reach up overhead with your arms. As you exhale, we're going to come into a nice little back bend. And then we're going to inhale back up straight. And as we exhale, we're going to come forward into a fold. We're going to inhale up to a flat back, and then we're going to exhale by bringing our hands to the floor, taking little baby steps back, and we're going to drop the knees. And then what we want to do is there's an imaginary line between our 2 middle fingers. And what we want to do is bring our chin right down into, touch that that invisible line between the 2 fingers. So this is what the coiled serpent looks like. Okay? So you can't really see very well. I apologize for that. But it kind of looks like this. So your butt stays high in the air. It's awesome for the back. Take a breath here. Good job. And then what we do is we inhale up into the upward facing dog. So we straighten the elbows. We get those glutes involved and we look up. And then we're going to tuck the toes underneath and we're going to exhale to the downward facing dog. Perfect. On your next breath in, you're going to reach your right foot up behind you. Now look what I'm doing here. I'm straightening the leg and I'm pushing through my heel. Okay, so I'm not pointing the toes. I'm pushing through the heel. I want to straighten that leg and reach up behind on an inhale. And then as we exhale, we're going to pull that foot through. And you might get stuck. So if you get stuck, grab that, pull it the rest of the way up, and then drop to your left knee. So what we want here is we want to have the knee over the heel. Okay? Let's point the left toes. And we're going to inhale the arms up. And we're going to exhale into a little bit of an arch. So I call this an arching lunge. Let's inhale back up straight. And then exhale, hands come to the floor in lunge position. I want you to tuck those left toes underneath. Inhale, pull up to your high plank. Exhale, drop knees. Drop the chin right in between those fingertip lines. Good job. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, back to downward facing dog. So now we're going to do the same on the other side. So we straighten out the left leg, push through the heel. We're going to inhale using the gluteus maximus muscles to lift up. We're going to exhale. We're going to pull through to a lunge. Again, if you can't quite get it through, pull that knee up over top of the ankle. Point your right toes. Let's take an inhale. Reach up with the arms. And let's exhale into that little bit of an arch. Let's inhale, back up straight. And let's exhale to lunge position. Tuck the right toes. Inhale, pull that left foot out, high plank. Exhale, drop your knees, drop the chin, keep your bums up nice and high. Good. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale to a wide knee child's pose. Widely child's pose, your knees are as wide as your mat, your toes are touching, your big toes that is, and then we sink our hips back. I want you to stack your fists, and I want you to rest your forehead on those stacked fists. Now take about 5 deep breaths. Listen to the sound that you're creating. Try to smoothen out that sound using Ujjayi breath, the sound of the ocean. The jaw is nice and relaxed. We're not clenching the teeth. Good work. Let's come into downward facing dog. Look through your hands. Next breath in. Walk your feet up to a flat back position. Let's exhale as we fold forward. And we're going to inhale, standing up straight, arms overhead. Get your glutes involved. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, back up straight. Exhale, back to mountain pose. Okay, I'm going to tilt this up a little bit. You don't need to see the coiled serpent, I don't think. I'll kind of walk you through it. Let's try that. All right. So we're going to do this a little more quickly this time around, okay? So we come to mountain pose, top of our mat. Inhale. This time we're coming right up into that standing back bend. And then as we exhale, we're coming right into that standing forward bend. And then we're going to inhale to our flat back. And we're going to exhale again, little baby steps back. High plank, drop the knees, drop the chin right in between those fingertips. Good job. Inhale, upward dog. You can't see me. Exhale, downward dog. Right foot up. Big breath in. Reach the right foot up. Exhale, lunge it through. Drop the left knee, point the left toes. Inhale, up and back. There's our arching lunge. And exhale all the way to the coiled serpent. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Same thing, left side. Inhale, the left heel up behind. Exhale, pull it through into a lunge. Drop the right knee, point the right toes. Inhale, arching lunge. Open up that hip flexor on the right side. That's it. Exhale all the way. Coiled serpent. So you got to really slow down that exhalation. That's why we practice slowing down the breathing. Inhale, up dog. Exhale. This time we're going to keep our knees hip width apart. And we're going to tuck the toes underneath to get under, stretch the bottom of the feet. And we're going to reach the arms way out in front like this. So we're not stacking the fists anymore. We're going to reach them out. All right, you can't see me, but I'm here. You close your eyes and focus on your sound of your breath. One more breath here in child's pose. That's good. Let's finish off this sequence. Moving into downward dog. Look through your hands. Inhale, walk your feet up to a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, standing arch. Exhale, mountain pose. That's 2. We got 3 more to go. Inhale, standing arch. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. This time as we exhale, we're going to lunge right and then left. And we're going to slowly lower, drop those knees, keep the elbows tight to the ribs. Good. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, lift your right heel up behind. Exhale, use your core to create space so you can pull that leg through. Inhale, arching lunge. Exhale, coiled serpent. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left foot up. Exhale, pull through lunge. Ooh, good job using the core. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, coiled serpent. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, you can choose now. You go to child's pose if you want, or maybe you're ready for downward facing dog. Just breathe. So focusing on the sound of our breathing keeps us in the here and now, in this moment. Too much of our time is wasted lamenting and feeling guilty about the past, or being fearful or anxious about the future. They're really not even here now. There's only one moment right here. It is now, right? And when we focus on the breath, which is always in the now, it kind of keeps us right here, grounded. Right? We don't think about yesterday's breath. We're not going to think about tomorrow's breath. It's this breath right here. One more. Squeeze it out. Keep squeezing it out. Now you can feel your abs. You can feel your deep core muscles engaged to help expel that breath, right? Good. Look through your hands. Inhale. Lunge right. Then left. You're at flat back. Exhale. Fold. Inhale. Bring those arms all the way up and back into an arch. Exhale. Mountain pose. We got 2 more to go here, folks. Inhale. Up and back. Exhale. Forward fold. Inhale to flat back. This time we're going to lunge with our left. And then the right. Drop those knees. Bring the chins down to the mat. Work on your upper body strength. Then inhale. Straighten those elbows. Work in your triceps. Get your glutes involved. Exhale. Down dog. This time we're going to point the toes. So the next one we're going to point the toe. So we're going to reach with the right foot up. Point the toe. Exhale. Lunge. Inhale. Arching lunge. Exhale, coiled serpent. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale to downward dog. Left side. Inhale, lift that straightened foot up. Exhale, lunge it through. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, to the floor, coiled serpent. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog, or child's pose. Probably starting to feel some heat in the body. This heat is known as tapas, a very purifying heat. Almost like an internal fever we get to turn on and off whenever we choose. One more breath. That's it. Look through your hands. You're going to inhale as you lunge with your left, and then your right, getting the flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, standing arch. Exhale, mountain pose. How you feeling? One more? Okay, one more. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. This time let's do a little hop. So we press on the floor, we lift, jump to high plank. Drop the knees maybe, but hey, how about this time we don't let the knees touch? So the knees are almost touching the ground, but they're hovering a little bit. Let's bring the chin to the floor and try to hover with that. Oh my gosh, that's a lot tougher, isn't it? And then inhale, get those knees up off the floor for the upward dog, and then exhale to the downward dog. Inhale, right foot up behind us, point the toes. Exhale, lunge. This time we're going to drop the left knee, but try not to let it touch. Whoa, you got to find your balance. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, coiled serpent. Hover the knees. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left side. Inhale the left foot up. Exhale, lunge it through. Drop the right knee, but don't let it touch. Inhale, up and back. Of course, if you have to have it touch, that's okay. Just exhale to coiled serpent. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hold it. Focus on the breath. Listen to it. You're in the now. Any accomplishment that has ever been made has been made in the now. Every accomplishment that will ever be made will occur in the now. It's certainly worth shooting for. It's worth practicing, trying to stay in the now. Listen to your breath. It's right now. One more of those breaths. Look through your hands. Inhale. You're going to step lunge or maybe do a little hop. Flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, standing all the way up and back. Exhale. You got it. We're in mountain pose. Hands at your heart center. Close your eyes. Notice how hot you're feeling. It's good. You're starting to feel better, hey? Awesome. Now, whatever you paid for this video, it's already worth it, right? That little bit of breathing exercise that we did, plus these moon salutations, 5 of them. Man, oh man, that's all you need. It's certainly worth the effort. Okay. Whew, that was good. I'm going to just prop this up a little bit. So you can see the top of my head. Oh, I don't want to get those things in there. Okay, here we go. So, we're going to start with our feet about hip width apart. We're going to bring our hands to our hips, and I want you to squeeze your elbows together like this. So that helps to open up the front of the body, helps to develop strength on the back side of the body. Take a big breath in as you look up. And then as you exhale, we're going to come forward. Try to keep your legs perfectly straight. There you go. Now you're going to let go of your hips and you're going to let your arms hang. You can grab opposite elbows like so. Okay? Or you can take your peace fingers and see if you can grab your big toes. Now if your knees start to bend, then you're going too far. I want those legs perfectly straight. Take a big breath in. And then as you exhale, you're going to use gravity to help pull yourself down. And the gravity will also allow the 13-pound cranium to pull apart your little neck vertebrae very, very gently and slightly. And then the weight of your shoulders and your head are going to pull apart your thoracic vertebrae just a little bit. And the whole upper body weight will pull apart your lumbar vertebrae just a little bit, helping to decompress the spine. Keep your kneecaps lifting upward, developing strength through the thighs. One more big breath here. Good job. Let's inhale up to a flat back. And then we're going to exhale by bringing our hands to the hips again. Squeeze those elbows together. That's it. Inhale, lift yourself up. And exhale, you can step back into your mountain pose. Good job. Shake that out a little bit. Okay, let's come into our triangle pose. I think I do triangle pose every single week because it's so good for this lateral flexion of our spine that we don't do very much in our everyday life. So step back with your right foot. We want to have about a heel-to-heel relationship. And we want to open up our torso to face the long side of the mat. Okay, here's what we're going to do. So your left foot is going straight ahead. Your back foot is turned out to the side. Let's inhale. This is called extended triangle. Utthita Trikonasana. So the extended part is when we lean forward. And then we're simply going to bring this left hand down to the thigh area, the shin area, if you can reach. And then our right arm is going to come straight up. And I want you to look up at that right thumb. And then keep both kneecaps lifting upwards and try to hold. Let's take one more breath. Great job. Inhale, lift yourself up. And let's exhale, just bring our feet so they're facing forward here. And then we're just going to pivot on the right heel, so we're going to face the opposite direction. Okay, so check your heels, both heel-to-heel relationship. Both feet are strong and active. Both kneecaps are lifting upward. Let's reach out with our arms. Inhale as we extend. Exhale, we drop, and we lift the left arm. So it's almost like we're stuck between two panes of glass. See if you can twist your neck slightly and look at that left thumb and hold it while you breathe deeply and smoothly. So I don't have any music playing, and I do that on purpose. Number one, you may not like my music. And number two, I want you to be comfortable, and so you can play your own style of music, whatever feels right for you. Let's take one more breath here. That's good. On our next inhale, we're going to use the inhale to lift ourselves up. And then we're going to relax. Shake that out a little bit. Okay. So we're going to come into a standing, wide-legged, standing forward fold. So our feet are as wide as feels comfortable, and I want your feet to be parallel. And once again, we're going to bring our hands to the hips and squeeze the elbows back and drop them down as you tuck in your chin. Let's take a big breath in as we look up. And as we exhale, we're going to hinge forward, and we're going to slide our hands down the legs to the shins or the ankles, or once again, maybe you can grab your big toes with your peace fingers. Let's take a big breath in as you lengthen the spine. And then as you exhale, you're bringing the top of the head towards the floor, keeping those legs perfectly straight. Let's hold it and breathe. One more big breath, you guys. Good, squeeze it out. Let's inhale up to a flat back. Exhale, bring hands to hips, squeeze those elbows together. Inhale, lift with the crown of the head all the way up. Exhale, shake that out. All right, now we're gonna do a wide-legged twist, okay? So I'll mirror you guys. So we'll start with this hand. This is your left hand. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna bring your left hand flat to the floor, if you can reach. And if you can't reach, then you can grab yourself a block to help with that, okay? Both legs are going to remain straight and strong. We're going to take this right hand, inhale it as we rotate the spine, and we're trying to get this right hand straight up. See if you can look at your thumb and open up your finger bones. Beautiful. Now your left hand, that elbow crook, we want to rotate it so it goes forward to help stabilize our shoulder joint. Okay? Here we go. Hold. Breathe. One more breath. And then exhale, bring that right hand down to the floor. Good job. Take a little break here. Let's switch hands. So now your right hand is pressing into the floor. Turn that little elbow crook forward. You can't see, but I'm turning the elbow crook till it goes forward. Okay? Inhale this left arm all the way up. Keep going. Try to get the left thumb stacked right over top of the shoulder, down through the heel of your right hand. Let's hold it here. Keep those kneecaps lifted up. Engage those quads. One more breath. Exhale, bring it to the floor. Good job. Inhale, flatten out your back. Exhale, hands back to hips. Inhale, squeeze the elbows together as you lift yourself up. And then we go heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. And I'll let you shake that out. All right, that's a good job. Our next position is going to be a balance pose called the dancer pose. So I'm going to walk you through it. We're going to do it a couple of different ways. I just got to adjust this again. Just bring it up a little bit higher. Okay. So we'll do the mirroring again. We're going to start by balancing on our left foot. I want you to lift up all your toes and separate them, like my fingers. Take your big toe, push it down. Then take your baby toe, push it down, and then the three in the middle. And what we're going to do is lift up this right, and we're going to try to grab it on the outside here, like so. All right. So it might take you a few moments to find your balance. This this left hand is kind of like your balance beam. Try to keep your knees close together here. Okay, a few breaths here. We want to look on the floor, maybe 6 feet out in front of us. Perfect. Now, let's bring this left hand around the small of the back area. Grab your foot. So if you can see, this is how I look from the back. Okay, now it's important to squeeze your shoulder blades back, drop them down. It's okay to stick out your belly, let it go. Couple of breaths. All right, now we're going to come into the dancer pose. So we use this left hand out in front. And we're going to lean forward gently. And then we're going to start to kick the right hand against the right arm, which is going to open up the heart. This is the dancer pose, or a modification of the dancer. Eventually we're going to bring our hands over our head and grab the big foot, the big toe. Good job, let's hold it here. Your left supporting leg should be strong and straight. One more breath. That's it. Inhale, lift yourself up. Exhale, lower. Hands at your heart. Yikes. Feel that lactic acid, hey? All right, here we go. We're gonna balance on your right foot. Open up the toes, like my fingers here. Big toe goes down. Little toe goes down. 3 in the middle just go down. Good. Let's grab that left foot. Find your balance. Some people might need a chair to hang on to. So if you have a chair, grab it right here. Whoa. Or you got the wall, hang on to something. Let's try to bring this right hand behind. Grab the foot again. Open up the heart. Roll the shoulder blades back. Tuck in your chin. All right, and then the full dancer, I'll give you a front view this time. This right hand's coming out. We start to lean forward, and then we press the left foot against the left hand. Let's hold it here, straighten that supporting leg. One more breath. That's good. Inhale it up. Exhale. Mountain pose. Namaste. Shake it out. Good work. So everything we've done so far has pretty much been straight-legged. So what we're going to do is we're going to come into Warrior 2 pose. And then we're going to do some stuff on the floor. Okay, so let's step back with our right foot. Heel-to-heel relationship, maybe heel to arch. And let's sink into the front knee. So we sink into the front knee. And then we're going to reach our arms out. I got to go down a little bit more here. All right, so we're sinking into the front knee, so we have knee over heel. Some of us get too far with the knee, so you gotta step back with the back foot a little bit. So this back leg is straight and strong, front leg is bent. Let's open up the torso to face the long side of the mat, reach out with your arms. Check your back, right arm. Make sure it's flat. Check your front left arm, make sure it's flat. Now you're gonna look over your left middle finger. And let's hold. Warrior 2. Are you strong like a warrior mentally, physically? Emotionally, spiritually? One more breath. That's good. Let's inhale, straighten that leg. Pivot on the feet so they're both facing forward. Shake that out a little bit. Let's do the same thing, other direction. Check your feet. Feet are your anchors. Most important part of the yoga posture is your connection to the earth. Let's sink into the front knee. So a nice perpendicular shin bone, tibia bone. Open up the torso, shoulder blades back, drop them down, and then from the down position we reach out. Check that back left hand. Check the front right hand. And again, a couple weeks ago I said we don't want to lean forward here. We want to be perpendicular with the shin and the spine. Look over the right middle fingers. Let's hold it. One more breath. That's good. Inhale up here. All right, good job. Shake that out a little bit. And so that's the end of our standing stuff. And so now we're gonna move into our seated position for our seated postures. I'm just gonna adjust this. So come to a seated position any way you want. All right, here we go. So we're in a cross-legged position here. All we're going to do is just take a breath in and reach your arms up overhead. And maybe lift up your chin and look at those hands. And maybe we can even interlock the fingers here and just go palms up. Stretch out your side ribs. Take a few deep breaths here. And we can exhale. So I'll mirror you. Let's take that left hand up. And then as we exhale, just come into a little bit of a side bend. A few breaths. Let's inhale it back up and exhale, drop. And let's take this right arm and take a big breath in as we reach it up. And as we exhale, come to a little bit of a side bend. Inhale up and exhale. Good job. Let's do a little twist. Now, some of you, if you feel like you're falling backwards, then you can lift your bum up onto a block or a cushion or something. Do a little twist here. Take your left hand and just bring it across this right leg. Lift up nice and tall through the spine. Tuck in your chin, and as you exhale, I want you to rotate around the neck, around the mid-spine area, the thoracic spine, and as well as the lumbar area, the low back. And let's inhale, bring the neck around first, and exhale, bring the rest of the body. And let's take this right arm around, bring it across the left. Sit up nice and tall with the chin tucked in. Exhale, pivot around the longitudinal axis. That's it. Inhale back with the neck. And exhale the rest of the body. You can follow suit. Okay, good. We're going to do a seated forward fold here. So we want both of our legs straight out. Get the big toes touching, so it's like a mountain pose, okay? All the rest of the toes are separated, like my fingers here. Try to do that. Kneecaps are lifting upwards. We're squeezing the legs together. Shoulder blades are pulled back and down. I just want you to grab the back of the knees here, maybe down by the shin. What I don't want to see is this. See how I round my back forward? What I do want to see is for your spine to stay long and strong, okay? So take a big breath in. And then as we exhale, we're going to hinge gently forward. It's important to keep your chin tucked in and your vision, your eye focus, your drishti is what we call it. Your drishti is on the big toes. Your inner focus, of course, is still on the sound of your breathing, which is now. One more breath. That's it. Now we're going to inhale back up, and we're going to exhale, just shake that up. Okay, so the next position is called Trianga Mukhaikapada Paschimottanasana. I know, it sounds weird, doesn't it? It's one of my favorite words. So what we do here, and it may not be suitable for all of you, so here's what it looks like. We're going to take this right leg, and we're going to tuck it underneath, like so. Let me show you a front view here. So if possible, we want to try to keep our knees together, okay? Now this back leg, what we don't want to see, we don't really want to point the toes out to the side. You see how I have my toes outside? What that does is puts a lot of stress on the medial collateral ligament, the MCL. Now, if you're doing this and it doesn't hurt at all, then maybe it's okay. Because again, a lot of us have issues here. We find it very difficult to flatten out that ankle joint. Now, a couple different things you can do. You can sit up on a block or a bolster. You can put a rolled up towel underneath that ankle, right there in the front of the ankle. Basically do whatever you need to do to get into the position. And the more you work at it, the easier it becomes. Okay? So Trianga Mukhaikapada Paschimottanasana. So you got about a fist width between your knees, or maybe your knees are together. Both of your sit bones are trying to touch the mat. Okay? And if it feels too difficult to go that far, or that you're way over onto one side, then again, that's when you should use a cushion or something to get yourself up a little bit higher. Your left big toe is going straight up. This left leg is in mountain pose alignment. Let's take a big breath in as we lengthen up through the spine. And then as we exhale, we're hinging forward again. We don't want to round. We want to keep our spine long and strong. Eyes are on the big toe. Let's hold it. Beautiful. it up. And exhale. Okay, now we're going to lean on to the left side. We're going to take this right knee out from under there. Give it a good old hug. Let's kick it out through the heel and slowly lower to the floor. Excellent. Same thing, other side. So you have to take your calf muscle and roll it off to the side. Tuck that left leg underneath. You're going to notice the difference between the left and right halves of the body, probably. Yoga helps us to fix these discrepancies or these imbalances, if you will. And imbalances, when they go unnoticed or when they're not fixed, will cause injuries over time. Okay? Right leg is in mountain pose. Inhale, lengthen up through your spine. Exhale, hinging forward gently, keeping your spine long and strong. Eyes are on the big toe, and let's hold. One more breath. Good. Inhale it up. Lean over on the side so you can pull that leg out. Give it a nice little hug. And let's kick it through the heel. And slowly lower. Good. Let's just lean back on the hands. Shake out those legs. Let's do the vinyasa. I spoke of the vinyasa last week. Vinyasa is coordinating breath with movement. And so what we do is we get to high plank any way we can. Then we slowly lower on an exhale to low plank. And then we inhale to up dog or cobra. And then we exhale to downward dog. And then we'll come back through to a seated position so we can do the wide-legged seated forward fold. All right? So I pull myself to the top of the mat with my legs crossed. And somehow we got to get into high plank. Exhale to low plank. Inhale to up dog. Exhale to down dog. Take a couple of breaths here in your downward dog. Feel free to walk the dog by pressing one heel down, then the other. And let's come through to a seated position. All right, so we're going to use the long side of our mat here. So if you want to flip your mat around or something. Got about a 90-degree angle here at the legs. Let's grab the inside of these thighs and just roll the shoulder blades back and tuck in your chin here. Legs are strong and active. Let's take a few breaths. All right, good. Now we're going to take another big breath in. And as we exhale, we're going to hinge forward again. I don't want you rounding. Okay, long and strong. You can reach for your ankles. Maybe someday peace fingers will wrap around these big toes. Straighten those legs as much as you can. Take a big breath in. Exhale, hinging forward as far as is comfortable. You're going to feel this on the inner thighs and the groin area. Close your eyes. Take your awareness inside. Listen to what's going on. Slow down that breath. One more breath here. That's good. And you're going to slowly inhale yourself back up. Let's exhale, shake that out a little bit. All right, so the next one we want to do is we want to grab these toes and we do a little balancing. And I'm going to do it on the side because I don't want you to have to look up my shorts here. All right, so I'm going this way. So let's do this. We'll bend the knees so that we can, in fact, grab those big toes. So the first one, we just want to go back. Now, if we go back too far, a couple weeks ago we did the boat pose, and I said if you go back too far, you're going to hit your sacrum, which is going to cause you to roll, okay? So what we want to do is just find a little spot just in front of the tailbone, and then we want to work on opening up the knees, so the back of the knees. And so we're in this little V-like position, and I want you to look up and smile at the ceiling. One more breath. Good. Now, some of you are going to have to bend your knees and slowly bring your heels back to the floor. If you can get your legs perfectly straight, what you do is you fall forward, but the calves touch the ground, you don't slam your heels in the ground, okay? So that's pretty important. Okay, so the next one, we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to go onto our back. Be very mindful of your neck, okay? So we don't want to put any undue pressure or too much pressure onto the neck. The pressure should go onto the shoulder blades, okay? So we got our peace fingers in our hand. We're going to open up these feet nice and wide, and we're going to get up onto the shoulder blades. Okay, now, if you can, you're trying to get your torso to go perpendicular to the floor, and your toes may touch the floor behind your head. We're going to hold for a few breaths, and then we're going to try to come up, roll out of this position into a balance, okay? It's a little more difficult to breathe because we have a compressed abdomen. One more breath. Good, now we're going to roll up and see if we can hold the balance, okay? Here we go, we're coming up. Get up. Hold. All right, you might have to try that a couple times, and then we can cross the legs. Good job, let's get into high plank. Exhale down to low plank. Inhale, up dog. And let's all exhale to child's pose and take a few breaths. Good. So just pop yourself up. So I think that headstands are really important, but they're quite difficult to do, and especially when there's no one around you to kind of help spot you. So we're going to do a headstand in two parts. Okay, so the first part is going to be the dolphin pose, and then the second part is going to be legs up the wall pose, or maybe the shoulder stand if you want to try the shoulder stand. Okay, so here's what we do. We interlock our fingers. We're going to bring these fingers behind the head like we used to do sit-ups the old-fashioned sit-up way, right? And then what's going to happen is our elbows are going to be taking the brunt of the weight, okay? The top of our head is going to touch the ground, and then we basically come into a downward-facing dog, okay? So, interlock your fingers. Make a little tripod here. Your hands and your elbows are the tripod. And then the top of your head is going to touch the mat, and the back of your head is going to be supported by these hands, okay? The weight is going to go through your through your elbows and forearms. The weight does not go through the top of the head. Really just a little bit of pressure on the top of the head, but not much weight at all. Okay? So this is the position, and then we straighten the legs and we come into sort of like a downward facing dog. So this is called the dolphin pose. Now you're pressing your elbows into the ground, as I said. Your heels are probably not going to be touching the floor, but we're trying to keep the legs nice and straight. So we have lots of blood flowing to the head right now. The more you press your elbows into the floor, the more you can feel your lats, your latissimus dorsi muscles, the muscles that attach just under your armpit. Some of you may want to come up into a one-legged dolphin. Didn't think dolphins had legs. If you want to try the other side. Some of you may want to try the actual headstand. I'm not recommending it, but if you do, you go 2 feet at a time. You bring your feet up, and then you work on straightening those legs. Once again, weight is going through the elbows, not much weight on my head at all. Eventually, we want to learn how to hold this headstand for 25 deep breaths. All right, now we're going to come out of it because the headstand was not part of the show today. Okay, so nice and slowly, come on out of that position, and let's take a break onto the knees, and we're going to rest in child's pose. That was one half of the headstand, okay, the dolphin pose, and then as I said, we're going to get our feet up here. So just take a few breaths. We're coming into our cool down, so it's okay to start to settle things down, start to cool down the body. So let's come on to our backs here. All right, just give ourselves a double knee hug and give yourself a little rock left and right. All right, so option one, we're gonna grab the back of the thighs with the legs straight up. Now some people, if you have a strap, they like to put a strap around the bottom of the feet and hold. So what's going on here is gravity is draining lymphatic fluid out of the bottom of our feet. This is really important to do, especially at night if you've been on your feet all day long. So the lymphatic fluid, it holds immunity properties, so we can recycle some of the immunity properties by having our feet up the wall or up in the air. Yeah, a lot of our hormones flow through lymphatic fluid. And sometimes if you feel a little out of balance hormonally, maybe getting your feet up the wall will just help to recycle this fluid, okay? So this is legs up the wall. Some people like to put a little block under their back to do that. Maybe you want to use your own hands to do so. So this is a modified shoulder stand. Notice the weight is on my shoulder blades, not on the back of my neck. Maybe you want to go straight up. So again, we want to learn how to hold this pose for about 15 deep breaths. And if you're not doing the shoulder stand, you just have your legs up the wall. You know, 15 minutes of legs up the wall is so beneficial. One more breath. And gently bring things back down to the ground. Let's straighten out these legs of ours. Take one full breath. Slide off my mat a little bit. And then shake out those legs. That's it. And give yourself another double knee hug. And rock it left and right. Okay. Back to a seated position here. So we're almost finished. We're just going to do a little half lotus, maybe a full lotus. On either side, and then we'll come into Shavasana. So this is your right leg. Let's take that right leg and just do a little rockabye baby with it. The knee is a hinge joint. It should only do this. I think I mentioned this before. Any rotation or any of that stuff comes from the hips. So just take that right foot and bring it on top of the left and sit up nice and tall. And if you want, let's bring our hands around the small of our back. Grab your opposite elbows if you can reach. Take a big breath in here. And let's exhale, just hinge forward and hold for a couple of breaths. Good job. Inhale it up. Now if you want to attempt the full lotus, you just take that left leg and you bring it up and over. And then if you want, you can try to lift yourself up and hold. This is called Talasana. Really good for the core. All right, let's untangle yourself. Straighten out those legs. Give them a little shake. All right, so I'm going to take the left one up and over. So to modify it, you would just sit with your left on top here, or left cross-legged position. But eventually you want to work on the flexibility and strength it takes to get that left foot right up on the top. So half lotus, big breath in, exhale. That's it. Now bring those elbows around the small of the back. Big breath in again, and exhale. Now we're hinging forward. Hold it and breathe. One more breath. Inhale up. Exhale, let go of the arms. Good job. All right, we'll try full lotus here. Take this right foot up. There's your full lotus. And I'll show you a side profile of what I mean to be in Talasana. So you straighten your elbows, and then you lift, and then you press your legs against those strong elbows. the end of our practice, we should be able to hold this for 100 breaths. One more breath. And exhale. Beautiful. Untangle those legs, you guys. Straighten them out. Oh, yes. We did it. Check the time here. So we got about 4 minutes or so for Shavasana, maybe 5 minutes. So come into a nice comfy position of your choosing. If you have a favorite song for Shavasana, now's the time to play it. I'm just going to lie here in silence, and I'm actually going to swivel around this way. Let's relax. Take a big breath in, and then let it out with a sigh. Feel free to bend one knee or both knees. Feel free to bring the soles of your feet together and Supta Baddha Konasana, or if you wish, you can straighten up both your legs. I'll be quiet. 5 minutes. Nice work today. Give those fingers and toes a little wiggle. You can move your feet and your hands, and then your arms and your legs. Let's reach over top. Take a big breath in. Point those toes. And then just give ourselves another little double knee hug. Right leg first, and then the left. Rock it left and right a couple of times. And let's roll over onto our left side if it's earlier on in the day. And we'll go right side if it's later on at night. Just take a few breaths here in your fetal position. And when you're ready, you're going to press into the floor, bringing yourself back up to a seated position. Cross those legs. We'll bring our hands together at our heart centers. Thank you so much for joining me. This stuff's really good for you. I'm telling you, there may not be too many more things important than preventing disease and illness. Remember that topics I told you about, that internal fever? Yeah, we can destroy those invading pathogens before they manifest into disease and illness. The body is meant to heat itself up right when you get a flu, you get a fever, right? That's your body fixing itself, and we get to induce our own fevers when we do these sun and moon salutations. Anyway, hands together, heart center. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace in our thoughts, peace in our words, and peace in our actions. The light in me sees the light in you. Namaste. All right, so keep going. Stay tuned for my next video. It'll be posted next week. And like I said, come January, it's going to be really cool. It's going to be, I'm going to give you like a little something to work on every week. We call that Om work. Get it? Om work. There's going to be readings. There'll be some videos. There'll be journal entries. It's going to be very similar to the way I teach yoga in high school. So that's why I call it the McKinnon's Post-Secondary Yoga. All the best. See you soon.